So I'm trying a new platform and I can't really see your comments. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go because I really I really want to get this across. And so I don't know if you was able to see the title, but it says um why Jonah. So everybody knows the story of Jonah, and but God just has me on the very first part of Jonah's, because we're talking about instructions, and God gives Jonah some instructions to go to Nineveh, but Jonah decides to do something totally different. He tries to get on the ship, be unrecognized, and get on the ship and go into Tarshish. Now, on this trip, Jonah gets on this ship and causes people he don't even know trouble to a place where they're about to lose their life. This is when we're still talking about instructions that God gives. And so what instructions that God has given you that you're liable to cause somebody to lose their life? I mean, and God always just showed me circumstances that in my life that that line up with these situations. And over a period of time, God has been talking to me about, you need to go back home. And, I ignored it, did like Jonah. I'm just going to run. It is what it is. And one day I was sitting at someone's house, and it was a Saturday. I was watching football, and I had to go to the restroom. So I got up and I left and went across the street to the restroom. Some of y'all might have heard me tell this story. And so I went across the street. By the time I got to the door to open the door to go in, somebody drove by that house that I was sitting in and drive-by shooting, and shot through the window, through the wall, all of that stuff. I don't know what they were shooting, but the holes went through the wall. And so I waited a few minutes to see if they was gonna come back by, and then I ran across the street, and I realized I looked at where I was sitting, and there was a hole, and I was looking at the people that were in there. They were shook. And so I'm asking, I'm sitting here today, and I'm like, God, what does he says? Because you were disobedient, do you think that because you were in that house, they weren't shooting at me? I mean, I wasn't doing anything for somebody to shoot at me. But the fact of the matter is, somebody actually shot in that house where I was at, and then I could have caused them to lose their. I'm feeling like I could have caused them to lose their life. I'm thinking about that right now. And so Jonah got on this boat knowing that he was supposed to be doing something that God has told him to do, and he's causing these people, these men, to get ready to lose their life because they're coming against something that they've probably never came against before. They've never seen anything, so they start talking to their God. What about something that your God told you to go on your job and start praying for your boss? Because you're not praying for your boss, now everything in the company is getting ready to release people, and people are losing their jobs because you were supposed to be praying for prosperity on your job, praying for your boss to make wise decisions, and the business shall prosper. But you and your feelings, you hadn't got a raise. The boss be talking to you crazy, so you don't want to do those things. Jonah knew what he had to do, and he didn't want to go. He didn't want to go and tell those people something. Is it something that you're supposed to go and tell your parents, tell your family, tell your brothers, tell your sisters, somebody that you're supposed to be dealing with that you haven't even dealt with? You just chose to actually go the opposite way. But God is been asking you to do something, giving you these instructions, and all of a sudden you go opposite way. And not only because you went the opposite way, you've put other people in jeopardy. Not just yourself in jeopardy, you've put other people in jeopardy. And you've been disobedient. You were supposed to follow these instructions, and you decide not to follow these instructions. So now it's on you. Come on, y'all. Come on. Come on. Follow with me. Just stay with me. Stay with me. Where are you in this process of following some instructions? Where are you? Are you causing the people on your job frustrations? Are you causing the people around you Think, we have to think about it, because if God gives given us some instructions, obviously he given us these instructions for a reason. And majority of the time it's not really about us. It's about the way that people are supposed to see you in the situation, to know that God is in control of your life. God is in control of this whole situation. So if you was a person that goes to your job and you pray all the time, they see you praying, they know you praying, and so when situations start happening, they come to you and say, "Girl, are you praying, dude? Bruh, I need you to be praying for me. I need you to be praying for my family. We need to be praying on this job. Can you pray for this job? Because we don't want to lose our job. We want to make sure our boss is making right decisions. We want to make sure that this is going the right way, and they using you as a tent peg, but or are you going the opposite way? You running away from that because you in your feelings, because you don't want to do it, you don't feel like you should do it? Or are you praying for your spouse because God tells you to pray for your spouse? He tells you to respect your spouse. He's telling you to love your spouse. He's telling you to do these different things. I mean, and you choose to do something different, and you wondering why the outcome is not what you want it to be. Why? Because you haven't followed the instructions. Jonah's getting ready to have get these other people killed because he didn't want to follow instructions. And so listen, they knew. They said they praying to Jonah's God that he don't do anything to them, because they finna throw his butt over in this water, and because they want to live. And so they throw him in the water, and God had already prepared a great fish. Right? I'm assuming it's a whale, because that's probably the biggest thing that's in the ocean is a whale. And so everybody assumed that it's a whale. So I don't know. I don't know if it's what kind of fish or whatever. But Jonah gets swallowed up, and he's in the belly of a whale for 3 days. Now we talking about, listen, we talking about, I don't care if it's a fish, a whale, or whatever, but being in the belly of something that's undersea, that eats fish, that eats all of this stuff in the belly for 3 days. 3 days. It caused him to be it because he was disobedient. It caused him to be in a situation that's literally a miracle for 3 days. To where Jonah had to think about this thing. I got thrown over a boat. I was getting ready to cause these people their life. They threw me over and now I'm sitting in the belly of a great fish. Come on, y'all. Y'all gotta get me. Y'all gotta catch this. You sitting in a cycle because you didn't do what you were supposed to do, Gerald. You're sitting in a bad situation. Why? Because you ain't followed some instructions. This thing, it's I'm not saying it's simple, but it's doable. All we got to do is just follow the instructions, because there's you don't even know the repercussions of your actions until it starts happening, and you start seeing the things, and you can't even put it together, because you haven't followed instructions for so long, you don't even know what the instructions should look like. Jonah knew what he was supposed to do. Jonah chose, he didn't want to do it. And I remember being in a place where I knew what I was supposed to be doing, but I wasn't doing it. And because I didn't do it, I was bringing backlash or retaliation on my family, on my children, on my wife, on my destiny, on my purpose. Please don't allow your disobedience to cause somebody else to lose their life. Once again, don't allow your disobedience in following instructions to cause someone else to lose their life. We're still talking about instructions. Jonah had some instructions. Jonah chose not to follow those instructions and almost caused perfect strangers to lose their life, to literally lose their life, to lose their life. And they pulled straws and found out that Jonah was the cause of all of this. As soon as they threw him in the water, everything stopped. Everything stopped. Listen, y'all. This is that place, y'all. This is that place. We're talking about instructions. So my question was, why Jonah? To me, why, Gerald? Why are you choosing not to follow the instructions? Because if you don't follow the instructions, someone can lose their life. Somebody can lose their life because you didn't follow the instructions. The light says stop, and you decide I want to go through the light, and all of a sudden you got people in your car, and because you made a decision to run a red light, you just put everybody else's life in jeopardy. Why? You ain't following instructions. The instruction says you don't run red lights. That's a law. So those instructions, when you get behind a wheel, there are instructions that you have to follow. Because if not, somebody can lose their life. So today, you're not gonna start out like Jonah. We're not gonna start out like Jonah because I'm gonna follow up with Jonah tomorrow. God had me to break it up because He wanted me to talk about the beginning. But when Jonah came out of that belly, there's a whole nother process. And so today we're talking about Jonah in the beginning. Jonah getting instructions. Jonah getting ready to get these men killed because they're rowing and they can't handle the sea, the wind that is being blown because God is blowing on this wind. And this is God doing this. Ain't the enemy. See, sometimes y'all think the enemy is doing something, but it's because your disobedience that you causing a breach that'll cause somebody else to lose their life. And you want to blame it on the devil. The devil ain't always doing this. It's because you disobedient and you causing something else to be on your husband. Oh Jesus, come on, y'all. Y'all better catch that one right there. Because you disobedience, you done cause your spouse to have to suffer longer than they need to, or go through something longer than they have to, or your children going through something longer than they have to because you choose to be disobedient. But you can't. But the enemy will have you not even seeing where your disobedience is. He'll just have you seeing the disobedience of your spouse, because if your spouse is in disobedience, that's all you will see is the disobedience that they're doing, and you don't understand and you don't see the disobedience that you're doing when God has asked you to do certain things and you chose not to because you choose to do it in your feelings. Jonah got in his feelings. I ain't going there. I'm not doing that. I'm gonna get on this ship and I'm going the opposite way. And I'm praying, and I went, and he was asleep when all of this was happening. He was asleep. That means you can't even see it. You can't even feel it. You don't even recognize your disobedience. You recognize everybody else's disobedience. Come on, y'all. Today is the day our scales come off, that we can see our disobedience, that'll cause someone else to lose their life, that'll cause someone else to be in a cycle longer than they have to. Longer than they have to. What if you were just instantly obedient to what God says, and it broke a cycle. It broke a mindset. It broke an addiction. It broke a habit. Come on, y'all. Come on. But because you're looking at an addiction, because you're looking at a situation, only looking at that situation that was at Nineveh, I'm not going to Nineveh. They're not going to kill me in Nineveh. I'm going to go to Tarshish. But he's about to get the people that's taking him to Tarshish killed. Don't let your disobedience put somebody's life in jeopardy. Don't let your disobedience and following instructions get somebody else hurt. Don't allow it. Don't allow it. Don't allow it. I mean, I can't even say that enough. Please don't allow it. Please don't allow it. I'm telling you, because I wasn't following instructions, I allowed my family to get hit. I've allowed my family to suffer. And I'm talking about for a very long time. And I'm talking about me. I don't know what your story is. I don't know how long you've been disobedient. I don't know how long you chose to not follow instructions. You chose not to fight. You chose not to stand. You chose not to forgive. You chose not to love. You chose not. I mean, you choose that. Why? Because situations look crazy to you, look like they won't change to you, look like it doesn't have to do this, and you're not even following the simple instruction that God has given you. Sometimes it's so simple. but it seems so hard. The enemy makes it seems like it's so hard. And you want to come? Why do I have to do this? Why can't they do it? Why can't you know why they can't do it? Because God has put the assignment on you to see if you can follow the instructions. Because if you can follow the instructions and they see something different, then they might feel like I can actually follow the same instructions that you did, and that I can come out of the situation that I'm coming out of. Come on now, y'all better catch this. You break that cycle of being disobedient. This is the day. You're not gonna just not do it. Cause like Moses, he missed the promised land. Like Jonah, he's about to get other people killed. Moses missed the promised land. He didn't get to see it. He saw it, but he didn't get it. Jonah is about to get someone else killed. He's about to get someone else killed. These men were about to lose their life. If they didn't pull straws and find out their life. So what's your story? What's your story? What's going to be your declaration for today? What are you going to choose to do today? Are you choosing to do it God's way? Are you choosing to walk the way God instructed you to walk? Are you willing to do what God instructions? I've already took my beating. I already put my family in jeopardy. I've already done all of those things. And so now I'm in a place where now I understand the repercussions of me not following instructions. I understand the repercussions of doing it my way. I understand that. I understand it. Do you understand it? Is this clicking to you? Are you comprehending this? Because if you ain't comprehending this, you will stay blind to the fact that you've been disobedient to some instructions, because all you can see is someone else's disobedience. Someone else's faults. Someone clear. But the enemy got you so blind and so deceived that you can't even see your own. You don't even remember God telling you this. And then you'll say, oh, God ain't speaking to me. Okay, go back to that last thing that he spoke to you. Because I'm telling you, these instructions in this time is very, very important. I'm telling you, the instructions for this time is they cannot miss it, because if you miss it, you don't know whose lives you are affecting. He tell me that all the time. I can't afford to mess up. I can't afford to go backwards. I can't afford to do that. I got way too much stuff that's going on in my life and in my marriage and in our ministry that I can't afford to do that. I can't afford to do that. I've been in this hole. I've been in the hell. I've been in the dirt. I've been in the mud. I've been in the valley. I put my family in death place. I put my family in destruction. I put them in that. Now God has given me the ability, and I'm gonna talk about Jonah coming out. So I'm telling you tomorrow, when you come out, but the fact of the matter is you got to understand where you are right now. You got to understand what you in today. Today, the scales come off. God, I repent. I'm trying, y'all. I'm talking about. Listen, we gotta repent. God, I repent for not following your instructions. I repent for putting people in harm's way. I repent. I'm telling. I was in a repenting place. I'm talking about like I'm crying because I can see it. I couldn't see it before because I was deceived. I had scales over my eyes. I didn't understand. All I could see is what my wife was doing to me, what my situation looked like, all of my failures. That's all I could see. But God was trying to show me something different. God was trying to show me that if you follow these instructions, I can make scales fall off. If you follow my instructions, I can heal your heart. If you follow my instructions, I can show you how to love again. If you follow my instructions, I'll show you how to keep your deliverance. If you follow my instructions, I'll bring you out of the valley into a high place. If you follow my instructions, I will bring you from the old to the new. If you follow my instructions, come on, y'all. If you follow the instructions, God will show you something brand new. If you follow God's instructions, you can come from a weak man or a weak woman into a strong man or a strong woman. If you follow the instructions, follow the instructions. So I pray that this has blessed you, because this is not going to be long. Because this right here is this one of those conviction things. It's like, open my eyes, God. Let me see my own. Let me see my own wrong. Let me see my own faults. Let me see my rebellion. Let me see my stubbornness. Let me see the things that causes you not to be pleased with me. Let me see the things that you've told me to do and I haven't done them. Let me see them, God, because I want to work on me. I want to be the one that you say that well done, my good and faithful servant. I want to be the one to follow my instruction. You're on, man. I saw. I want God to be wishing that in my ears. Well done, son. That was the way you follow my instructions. Now look what your following instructions has opened up a door, has opened up a blessing, has opened up favor, has opened up treasures. Y'all better catch that thing. Your disobedience locks it, but your obedience and your faithful to following his God's instructions unlock that you couldn't naturally think of. You couldn't systematically think that you could open those doors or those things could happen, because you don't even understand what God has planned for you is greater than what you even can imagine. And sometimes he gives you a glimpse of it so your faith and your hope can get stronger into actually getting to it, because when the instructions come, you got to be willing and you got to be strong enough, you got to be courageous enough to follow out those instructions. You can't be weak, you can't be timid, you can't be doubtful, you can't have that mindset. You got to understand that when I walk this thing out, there's something at the end of this walk out that God is going to bless me with. And so I'm going to walk this thing out. I'm going to follow these instructions to the T. Because if I don't follow these instructions to the T, I don't know whose life is in jeopardy. It might not be your life. It might not be your kids' life. It might be your kids' life. You don't know. So don't put your family, don't put your legacy, don't put your destiny, don't put your purpose, don't put it in jeopardy. Don't put your job in jeopardy. Don't put your home in jeopardy. Don't put your life in jeopardy. Don't put it in jeopardy, because the enemy wants you to be rebellious, because the enemy says that you don't always have to do that. You don't take all of that. You know how we do. You know how we do. Why I got to do all of that? I don't know how many times I hear that. Well, I don't think I got to do all of that. Who say the same thing too? Why do we have to do that? Because the Bible tells you to. And if you don't do it, don't you see you in the same cycle every day, all day, over and over, year after year? Come on, y'all. Today is the day, man, that our eyes are open. Today is the day that we're no longer deceived. Today is the day that we're no longer rebellious, stubborn, stiff-necked people. We're not that. But that's not going to be us today. So today is the day you got you some deliverance. And I pray that you got some deliverance, because I need you to understand that we have to be able to follow instructions, because people's lives depend on it. Your family life depend on it. Your children's children, your great grandkids lives depend on it. Have you ever heard when it says the sins of the forefathers visit the you gonna allow your sin, your rebellion, your disobedience to visit your great your gone. I mean, generations after you, that they gonna be dealing with your rebellion. They gonna be dealing with the consequence of you not follow the instructions that you was given, because you might not even see the situation that they have to go through. What if God shows you that? What if God tells you that if you don't follow these instructions to the T, then your generations to come will have to pay the price for that sin, pay the price for your disobedience, pay the price for you not follow the instructions. I bet you get your attention then. And some of some of it just might be like, oh man, whatever. Because if you would have caught me back like 10 years ago, I'd have been like, whatever. Yep. I ain't, if it ain't happening right now, I ain't worried about it. But now I'm cautious to that. I'm more attentive to that. I'm more attentive to the instructions. More attentive to what I need to do. What is God telling me to do? Because I don't want my kids and my kids and my kids and great. I don't care. Generations, 50 generations. I don't care. I don't want none of them that I did wrong to own them. I understand you reap what I do. I don't want my kids to reap it. I don't want my kids. I don't want no generation after me to reap what I've sown. It's especially not disobedience. Because if you can't follow instruction and your kids, and you look at kids can't follow instruction, the apple don't fall far from the tree. All you did was pass down a disobedient spirit, and if they don't get it right, that's rebellious. A whole family that's obedient, a whole family that can't even follow directions. Is that gonna be your family? Is that gonna be you? Be your kids? Is that gonna be your grandkids? Is your where your was your mama disobedient? When following instructions? Is why you can't follow instructions? And so now that you know that they were that way, then that means you need to break it so it don't get to your kids. Because if Jonah doesn't fix it, and Jonah doesn't, God gives him an opportunity to fix it, then he would have stayed. He would have stayed in a place that was like, eh. So don't allow to ruin the lives of your children. I bet you that hits more home. That hit more home for me, and I pray that it hits more home for you. So y'all know who I am. Y'all see it on. I'm Gerald Benton, one half of Gerald and Yvette Ministries. I pray that this has blessed you, move you, touch you, stretch you, convicted you, whatever. That'll put you into a place where the scales are being removed off of your eyes, that you can see now. That you're no longer blind to your rebellion, to your stubbornness, to your inconsistency, anything that'll cause you not to follow the instructions of God. And so you've been enlightened, and that you've been go to our website, geraldindyvette.com, and by get some resources. You can check out videos. We got plenty of stuff on there. My wife has webinars, teachings on different subjects. You can always go there and check them out, because it's so you can get that. And if our YouTube channel, Gerald and Yvette Ministries, you can go to the channel. Please listen. We hit the 2,000 mark. I thank every person that is a subscriber. I thank the ones that are planning to subscribe. I pray that our ministry blesses you. I pray that this ministry encourages you, enlightens you. It shines light on darkened areas. And I listen. We just transparent, and so I'm not on here just trying to I'm telling you my mindset, the way I live, the things that I had to do, how I had to come out, what my wife does. She does sips and tips, and she talks about the men. She talks about relationships. She talks about the ins, the outs, the bads, the goods, all of that stuff. And so when you find yourself in these situations, go and find the resources to be able to help you. There's other resources that's out. I'm not just saying it's just our resources, but if you find some resources that you need to be able to help you, to encourage you, to strengthen you, to just be led by God. And if God has led you to our ministry, and this ministry has blessed you, feel free to if you've seen something and something that's blessed you and has encouraged you, go to our website, sow a seed. I'm telling you, if you learn how to sow and you learn how to give, I'm telling you, you'll open some doors, especially if you dealing with finances and all of that. I'm telling you, and I'm not trying to say I need you to go and sow. And so I'm telling you, I don't care what ministry you sow. If a word blesses you and a word shows it, enlightens you, and it puts you in a right place, and it encourages you, and it lifts you up, listen, sow into it, because I'm telling you, you can't outbeat God. You might say, well, I don't have no money. I don't have. Listen, man, sow $1. So what you got? The widow's mite sold all she had. Listen, man, the world would say all they want is your money. Man, God, nobody wants you, need your money. That's not that. It's not that. It's the principle of what God wants. You can do it wherever you want to, however you want to, whatever ministry blesses you, whatever. I'm telling you, because I don't even know why I'm saying it, because there's somebody out there that needs to do it, because they're in a place where it seems like I'm sitting here robbing Peter to pay Paul. I'm trying to do this, and God is giving you some instructions to get out of poverty, to get out of life, to get out of living from paycheck to paycheck. God is giving you some instructions, and because you're looking at your bank account, because you're looking at what people say, you listening to what people say, and then all of a sudden you don't do what you're supposed to do, but you don't never get out of your cycle. You don't never come out of it. Matter of fact, you get worse. And so once you start following some instructions, now let me tell you something, because you're not obedient, because you're not doing what you're supposed to do, now your kids are suffering, now everything around you is suffering, and then everything starts being taken away, because God says, I needed you to do this, and you chose to do this because you were looking at a circumstance of this, because you didn't have faith that what I was going to do for you, you didn't have faith enough to believe that I can do it, and all I needed was mustard seed. I am done. So, hey, I don't know who that was for, but I pray that it stretches you. I pray that it gets your mind right. I pray that the things that the people that have been whispering in your ear that have caused you not to follow God's instructions, that they no longer are in your ear. The stranger's voice you will not follow. I pray that. So once again, y'all be blessed. I tried a new platform. I can't see your comments, so I don't know if I'm actually, hitting you, reaching you on all of that. But I pray that it hits you, okay? All right, y'all be blessed, and y'all have a great day. Let me see how this gonna work.